Channel. Welcome back to another video. If you're stopping by the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing to my channel. And while you're at it, smash that like button for me. I really would appreciate it. Also, hit that post notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. Be careful down in the comment section of the videos. A lot of spam, a lot of scammers. I will never ask you to contact me by WhatsApp or Telegram. I also do not invest money for my subscribers. So please be careful. Don't get yourself scammed. If you want to follow me when I'm not on YouTube, please do me a big favor. Get down in the description box and click on that Richard Fain Millionaire Mentor Instagram link. And give me a follow on Instagram. And make sure you DM me to let me know that you're rocking with me. I certainly would appreciate that so that I can say thank you. Trying to get this Instagram page where my old Instagram page used to be. Got a long ways to go, but I'm working on it. And I know with you guys' help, I can get there. So do me a big favor, get down in the description box, click on that Instagram link. Got some big stuff coming up this weekend. I'm only going to be posting it on Instagram. So if you want to find out what I'm up to this weekend, please follow me on Instagram. Link down in the description box. www.richardfain.net. That is my new website, and it's been in existence for about 3 months, and it's been doing extremely well. A lot of you guys, over 200,000 of you guys have already went over to the website and to check it out. Hundreds of you guys have decided to buy digital products, to invest in yourself, collapse time frames, take this information, convert it into execution, and get to your wealth. So kudos to you guys that have made that decision to invest in yourself. I think it's a smart decision. We're going to be talking about an opportunity to get super wealthy if you put yourself in position. One of the ways you put yourself in position is by having knowledge that you can then convert to execution, right? Knowledge without execution is nothing. It's nothing. Knowledge that you can convert to execution is a powerful financial tool, guys. Get yourself over to the website, second link down in the description box. Click on that website link. Go check it out. Grab some of those 10 digital products that I handpicked to help you collapse time frames and get to your freedom. And then while you're there, consider joining the private mentorship club. Almost 800 folks in the private mentorship club. And I know for some folks, some creators, that's a small amount of people. For me, it's huge, right? That's 800 individuals who have decided to join my financial community to help and then help others, help themselves and then help others build wealth. That's incredible to me. I'd rather have 800 active people than to have 8,000 inactive people, right? That's the key. It ain't always about the quantity. A lot of times it's about the quality, right? Give me quality over quantity any day, right? I'll rock with quality over quantity any day. And that's what we have in my private mentorship club over in the community. Fastest growing financial community on Patreon, by the way. So there are a lot of other communities on Patreon, but we're the fastest growing financial community. And that's what I'm all about, helping people get to the financial bag, helping people get to the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So if you want to join us, hey, go through the website, click on the membership button, click on the join button, become part of our family. We'd welcome you. We'd love to have you. Last thing, and then we're going to dive into these meat and potatoes. Mumu, my self-directed brokerage app that I'm going to be using over the next 10 years. Now, after 10 years, guys, I'm pretty much out of the stock market. I'm going to be taking my wealth out of the stock market and placing it into things that'll generate income for me. So my last hoorah in this investment thing, or at least in the stock market, is these next 10 years. And I'm using the Mumu brokerage app to help me build my net worth through buying paper assets, right? Stocks and individual stocks and ETFs. And I'm doing that through the Mumu brokerage app platform. That's the first link down in the description box. So if you want to come rock with me and use the same brokerage app that I use to buy paper assets, get down to the description box and click on that Mumu link. Now, the good folks at Mumu are going to give you a special offer, right? You can only get it through me. You're going to get up to 20 free stocks, publicly traded companies, up to 20 free stocks of publicly traded companies. I'm talking about New York Stock Exchange companies, Chicago Stock Exchange companies, and all the other stock exchanges in America. These are public companies where you can buy shares in these companies and become an owner of these companies. Good folks at Mumu will give you up to 20 for free just to try their brokerage app. Here's the qualifiers. When you put $100 in your new Mumu brokerage account, initially when you open it, you get 8 free stocks. If you put $1,000 in when you initially open it, you get 20 free stocks. Guys, don't miss this opportunity to build your wealth. Don't miss this opportunity to also have a world-class self-directed brokerage app that has many, 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 many benefits and features to it. I'm going to give you 3 features real quick and then we're going to move on. First feature that I really love about it is fractional share trading, whereby I can take all of the money that I'm investing and put it into a certain stock or a certain ETF without having a little bit of it left over because I don't have enough to buy an additional whole share. I can take that money. Let's say I got $200 and I want to buy a share of Nvidia and it's trading at $115 a share. That means I get a whole share, but now I got $85 just laying around. I can't get it into Nvidia and buy a whole share because a whole share is $115, but I got $85 just hanging out here. Not anymore. I can take that $85 and buy me a fractional share of Nvidia, so my whole $200 is in Nvidia stock. That's magic, guys. Every other full service brokerage app don't offer that, right? So even if you got a full service brokerage app or company who you use, they may not offer fractional share trading unless it's their proprietary fund. They won't. A lot of them don't let you buy fractional shares of Nvidia or individual stocks unless it's their stock, right? So that's where the Mumu brokerage app for me is a game changer because I can put if I got $5 in my account, I can buy a fractional share of something with little as $5 in my Mumu account. Try to do that on one of your full service brokerage apps. Ain't gonna let you do it. So all I'm telling you is no matter what you got over here in the full service world, this self-directed brokerage app is good for you because of the fractional share trading. Number 2, DRIP, right? Basically dividend reinvestment program. They offer DRIP where if you're getting dividends from your individual stocks or your ETFs, now Mumu will automatically invest those back into buying shares of that individual stock or your ETF without you doing anything, right? They call that automatic reinvestment of dividends, which is DRIP, right? That's another great feature, guys. And then the third feature, and then we're gonna move on, is automatic investment program, whereby you can set up in the brokerage app through Mumu, you can set up an automatic investment without you doing anything manually. It'll be an automatic investment where it will take a certain amount of money on a certain time during the month that you pick, and it will automatically buy those shares of that ETF or that individual stock for you without you doing anything. Now, your responsibility is you got to have money in the brokerage account. That's just common sense. You can't do that without money in your brokerage account. So you got to make sure you got money in there. But if you do, you can set up AIP and be good to go and automate this thing and make it more consistent. That's the whole point, right? We want to be consistent. We want to be disciplined. We want to be patient. Those are the 3 things we need to build wealth in the stock market. Those are the 3 things we need to build wealth in any asset, correct? The consistency part, AIP can take care of that for you. So those are the 3 features I just wanted to highlight real quick on the Mumu brokerage app. Here's the deal, guys. You got to make a decision. You got to be an executor. The difference between the 1% and the 99% are execution. It's not how smart you are. You can be the smartest person in the world, but don't execute, so what good is it? Nothing. Only thing that really matters is execution. That's why the 1% control 99% of the wealth in this country, and the 99% control 1% of the wealth. We lack execution. Today, you can change that in your life. Become an executor. Get down in the description box and click on that Mumu link and execute. And then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Send me an email and let me know you've opened the Mumu account, but you need some help learning how to maneuver and navigate it. I'm gonna send you some tutorial videos, very easy to understand, tells you about fractional share trading and how to do it, and all the rest of the basic mechanics of the app. All you gotta do is keep those 2 tutorial videos close to you. You'll know how to do everything you need to do to build wealth. And then I'm gonna throw in 2 of my wealth transfer blueprint videos, which will outline all the paper assets that I'm buying over the next 10 years to 6x my net worth. If you want to join me on that journey, you're more than welcome to. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't play a financial advisor on YouTube. I'm just a regular guy with no credentials, but for 30 years have bought paper assets and built wealth. That's it. But I got no other credentials. So don't look at me as your financial advisor. I don't tell people what to invest. I don't tell people how much to invest. I don't tell people when to invest. What I do tell people is if they want to build wealth and do something in their life to be extraordinary, then you may want to think about investing. You may want to think about developing some discipline, some consistency, some patience, because you're going to need those things in life if you plan to be extraordinary. Now, if you want to be ordinary, you don't need any of those things. You can just stay in the matrix and be ordinary. But if you want to be extraordinary, you're going to need those 3 things. You're going to have to get yourself out of the matrix. You can't be extraordinary living in the matrix. Because why? You're mind controlled by the 1%, right? So if you want to be ordinary, stay in the matrix. If you want to be extraordinary, get yourself out of the matrix, and it starts with this brokerage account. Put you some money in it and start buying some assets to build wealth and just do it long term. You're Gucci, right? All right, let's dive into this information we got to get to today, because I ain't gonna keep you long. I got some stuff I got to do, and I'm gonna cut this thing a little short today. But here we go. Fed, Nvidia stock. Let's start with Fed. Now, how can the Fed plus Nvidia stock help us get super rich? Here we go. If you've been following the Fed over the last 2 years, guys, they have been on a campaign of increasing interest rates and decreasing inflation. They've been on a 2-year campaign, which started in March of 2022. The campaign started, and the campaign was to do what? Bring inflation back down to 2%. Why 2%? Because the Federal Reserve believes that's where our economy is the healthiest, when we're at 2%. See, the Federal Reserve has 4 mandates. One of their mandates is to provide price stability in our economy. Richard, what does that mean? That means everybody living in America should have the right to be able to buy the basic things they need to live and be able to afford them. That's price stability. Not just the 1% be able to get what they need. No, everybody who lives in America, everybody. I don't care if you're a citizen or not. If you live in America, you should have the right to buy the basic things you need for you and your family to live. That's price stability. At 9% inflation, there is no price stability, because a lot of those people cannot afford the basic things they need to live. So in June of 2022, when inflation hit a 40-year high of 9%, the Fed started raising interest rates to bring inflation down. Now, how does interest rates affect inflation? Well, here's the thing. In America, a big part of our economy is borrowing money to buy stuff you don't need for a lot of people. But borrowing money is a big part of our economy. Cheap money is a big part of our economy. It's a money supply. Cheap money, where I can borrow from a bank or somebody, a lender, whoever. I can borrow cheap money and I can take that cheap money and do what? Spend it on things in our economy. How does the Fed take that cheap money out of our economy? By raising interest rates. Because the Fed knows when them interest rates go up to where they're at today, there are a lot of people can't borrow money because it's too expensive. They can't borrow it. So therefore, they are pulling money supply out of the economy. They are taking away people's ability to borrow money cheap, which does what? It brings down prices over time. Why do prices go up? Because you have more demand than you have supply. When you have more demand for something and you have a little supply of it, whatever little supply you have becomes more valuable. So prices go up. That's what happened, right? Remember the pandemic? Shut down the country, basically shut down most of the world. So it shut down the supply chains. And it requires supply chains to be up and functioning in order to produce the stuff that we need to live. But when you shut those down for any period of time and you start reopening them again, it takes time to scale up that production. And in the meantime, what happens? Demand is already up and you're trying to scale up to meet demand. But when you don't do it fast enough, the supply you have gets more valuable and it goes up in price. That's inflation. So the Fed, over the last 2 years, have been jacking up these interest rates to take that cheap money supply out of our economy to do what? To allow the supply to meet demand. And they're about there. Took them 2 years, but they are about there. They're about to put us into a soft landing pattern. They're about there. And the report that I'm going to share with you today will help drive that home. So the PCE report came out this morning for June, and it was pretty good news. So now we got 3 months in a row of PCE, 3 months in a row of CPI, all showing that inflation is coming down, getting closer and closer to the 2% target. PCE for June, year over year, came in at 2.5%. That's amazing, guys. It met expectations. Amazing. PCE core came in at 2.6, slightly hotter than expected, but still very good progress. So those two, headline, core, PCE, both getting to that 2% target. That's big news, guys. Why is that important? Well, it's extremely important because the Federal Reserve will be meeting next week. They'll be meeting on Tuesday and Wednesday to talk about interest rates. And here's what's on the table. What is on the table is reducing short-term interest rates by 25 basis points 3 to 4 times this year. Even a former Federal Reserve chairman went on record saying there's a case to be made that the Fed could actually reduce interest rates next week. And their 30 and 31 meeting, July 30, 31 meeting, there's a case to be made based on the data that they could take a 25 basis points decrease in July. Just saying, that's a former Federal Reserve chairman that said that. Go out and do your homework, do a little Google on Google, and you're good to go. I'm not going down that rabbit hole today, but I'm telling you what I read. So you can go find it if you want to. I'm not here to spoon feed you every little piece of information, guys. At some point, you got to go out and do your own homework. I'm not the homework. Yeah, I'm not the tutor. I'm just a guy on here giving you information so you can try to take that information and convert it into what? Execution. That's it. That's all I'm here to do. I'm not here to hold your hand. I'm not here to give you a fish. I'm here to teach you how to fish. And how to teach you to fish is to encourage you to go out and do some of your own research. Putting everything on the screen right here, and that ain't gonna help you. It ain't, guys. I know y'all we're so used to our favorite YouTubers spoon feeding us every little piece of information. That's not what my channel's about. My channel is about teaching you how to fish, not giving you a fish. Because I think it makes you a better executor when you can go out and find information and dissect it and then turn it into execution. That makes you extraordinary. If you want to be ordinary all your life, you can go find a channel where they're going to spoon feed you everything, but it's not going to help you grow. The goal here is to help you grow to be a better investor. That's the goal. And the only way you grow is through doing what? Doing some of this stuff on your own, learning, and then turning it into execution so you can create a habit. Me spoon feeding you everything is not a habit. It keeps you in the matrix. So if you want to go out and find that information, go find it. It's out there. All you got to go to Google and type in former Federal Reserve chair says interest rates should be lowered in July. That's all you got to do. Put that in Google, poof, it'll be there, and you can read whatever you want to read. But on this channel, it's about helping you learn how to do the research on your own. That's why I don't put stuff on the screen. That's why I don't do all of that stuff. There's a reason I don't do it, because it ain't helping you. It ain't helping you. Somebody's spoon feeding you everything. Yeah, it might be entertaining you, but it ain't helping you. It ain't helping you build no wealth by spoon feeding you everything, because you don't know how to go find nothing, right? So, Federal Reserve, meeting next week, got a decision to make. Is it possible that they could decrease short-term interest rates by 25 basis points next week? Absolutely, it's possible. Is it likely? Probably not. But is it possible? Yes. The data points to it, guys. The data, it points to it. This PCE report we just got this morning points to it. It points to it. You got headline year over year at 2.5%. What does that mean? That means in a healthy economy, guys, according to the Fed, in a healthy economy, inflation or our price of our goods and services should grow by 2% a year. That's a healthy economy. Prices of our goods and services in a healthy economy should grow by no more than 2% in that ballpark. Right now, year over year, June 23, June 24, prices of our goods and services went up by 2.5%. Now, 2 years ago, when this whole thing started, year over year, they were going up by 6%. That was on PCE. On CPI, it was going up by 9% 2 years ago. Goods and services were going up by 9% year over year. So we've come a long ways, guys. A long ways. So that's good news. So it wouldn't be a stretch for the Federal Reserve next week on July 31st to lower interest rates by 25 basis points. That right there, guys, if it were to happen, changes everything. It brings back FOMO. It brings back euphoria. It brings back optimism. It brings back everything to the stock market now. And it takes off. So that's one of the catalysts that could happen next week. I don't know that it will, guys. I don't have a crystal ball. I'm just telling you they got a case they can make because they got the data. If you go look at the last 3 months of PCE inflation reports and the CPI inflation reports, if you look at what's been happening with the jobs report over the last 2 to 3 months, unemployment has been creeping up. the last 3 months. Go look at the reports, guys. Right? April, May, June. April, unemployment was 3.9. May, it was 4%. June, it was 4.1%. Also, a report that came out was the GDP report for first 6 months. Now, they will annualize the report, but based on that report, and this is where the soft landing comes in, based on that report, GDP is on pace to be about 2.8% this year. If you annualize it, it's on pace. Why is that good news? Remember, we want our prices of our goods and services to go up every year by no more than 2%. We also want our economy to grow by at least 2%, right? So we want the economy to grow by at least 2%. We want to keep inflation 2% or under, right? So what was the Fed mission this whole 2 years? To keep the economy growing and bring inflation down. That's the perfect scenario for the Fed, and they were using interest rates and some other monetary policy to make that happen. But interest rates are what you and I really understand. The rest of that stuff they were doing, we ain't gonna understand that. But the interest rate part, we can understand. So they were using interest rates as a financial tool to do what? Take excess money supply out of the economy, which would do what? Bring prices down. Had they did it incorrectly, what else would it would have done? It would have killed the economy. It would have stopped the economy from growing. That was the tightrope act the Fed had to walk across with no safety net. They had to walk across a tightrope, right, on two big old gigantic buildings with no safety net. What do you got to do? We got to maneuver these interest rates so that we don't destroy the economy, but at the same time, we bring down inflation. That's the soft landing. That's what we're getting, guys. So when you get that GDP report that says 2.8% GDP, that's good. Then you get a PCE report like you got today that's saying inflation is 2.5%. That's good, guys. So they got all the data that they need. You didn't ruin the economy, Fed, because 2.8 ain't no slouch for the economy. The economy is growing at a 2.8% annualized clip. So you did what you wanted to do there. You also brought inflation down. Now, we're not at the 2%, but man, anywhere between 2 and 2.5, guys, we can live with that. So everything they set out to do with interest rates over these last 22 months, 24 months, 26 months, 27 months, they've done. They've done, guys. The last 24 months, they have done it. They have done it. So all I can say is, what are you waiting on, Fed? Let's get these interest rates reduced so people can start building wealth through assets. Because when these interest rates come down, assets go up. That's when assets really go up. Why? Because when interest rates come down, what is the Fed doing now? They're turning back on the money supply. When they take interest rates up, they turn off the money supply. That's where they took money supply out of our economy through cheap money. People couldn't borrow cheap money. Businesses couldn't borrow cheap money. But what's coming back is businesses are starting to spend again. Consumers are still spending. That's why you see GDP at 2.8. But yet and still, even with all that spending going on, what's happening to inflation? It's coming down. That's the best of both worlds, guys. That's why I keep telling y'all there's no better opportunity than right now to get wealthy, because the perfect storm is coming. Economy's doing great. Inflation is going down, which is great. The Fed is in a position now where they can start stimulating the economy a little bit at a time, 25 basis points at a time. They can start stimulating the economy. just stimulating it, 25 basis points at a time. So that's in their power. They certainly could do that next week. Will they do it next week is a whole different ball game. But could they do it? Absolutely. They absolutely could. And guess what? Nobody wouldn't have a problem with it. Nobody would not have a problem with them reducing those interest rates. And if they reduce interest rates by 25 basis points next week, we go to the moon. We go to the moon. We go to the moon. Rocket ship already got rocket ship fuel in it, ready to take off. Every seat is filled, almost every seat. There is room for some more of y'all if y'all want to go ahead and commit to it and execute. That's why I was telling you about the Mumu link. Get down in the description box and click on that Mumu link. Get yourself ready to go. So by next week, you're locked and loaded. You can get on the rocket ship too. But if you ain't in position, you're just gonna be on the ground waving at everybody else on the rocket ship, taking photos of them and putting them on Instagram and Facebook. But you ain't gonna be on the rocket ship, right? You're gonna be cheering on other people building wealth, but you ain't building no wealth. So put yourself in position, man. I've already walked you through what's happening. I don't care what the stock market is doing today. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Listen, man, that's all I keep telling y'all in this continuous bull market. This little correction stuff, guys, is short-lived. The whole purpose of the stock market is to go up. Yes, do you have some folks out here that are manipulating it? Absolutely. Yes, you know big hedge funds and billionaires and all these people gonna manipulate it because it's what they do. But they can't stop this progress, guys. They cannot stop these reports from coming out showing us that the Fed has no choice but to reduce these interest rates at some point this year. They got to. All the data says you got to reduce rates, man. And they are. And I don't care how much manipulation in the stock market the 1% try and pull off, they're not going to be able to stop these stocks from running back up. They're not going. Matter of fact, they're not trying to stop it. They're just waiting on the right time to let it go. They know they're going to have to let it go at some point. They got to. And they understand that. But until they have to let it go, they're going to go ahead and do whatever they need to do to make money on the disaster that's happening right now in the stock market. Somebody's making money off of the Mag 7 going down in value. Someone's making money off of the S&P 500 shedding 2, 3, 4, 500 points. Somebody's making money off the NASDAQ going down. Somebody's making money, guys, when these stocks go down. Do you really think everybody's losing money? No. No. There are plenty of people making a bunch of money while these stocks are going down. So here's what you got to understand. It's also an opportunity for you to make a lot of money. Because if you buy in the red, that's where you're building your wealth at. See, you buy in the red, that's where you build your wealth. Because at some point, these manipulators are going to let it go back up. At some point in the near future. They're going to have to, because that's the whole point of the stock market. Nobody will ever invest in the stock market anymore if they don't let it go back up. They know that. See, ain't nobody going to invest in something that they don't believe they can make money in, guys. Why would I take my hard-earned money and put it in the stock market if it's only going to go down forever? That don't make no sense, does it? When you just use common sense, you already know to encourage people to invest in these companies, you got to let the stock market go to the moon. Now, occasionally you're going to correct and you're going to consolidate because that's just what you got to do. But you got to let it go to the moon, or why would people even invest in companies? They wouldn't. So at some point, you got to let it go to the moon. I think it's coming. So for me, until they're ready to let it go to the moon, what I do is I just keep buying low like they buying. I'm going to keep buying low just like the 1% until they're ready to let it go to the moon, which they're going to have to. It's the whole point of the stock market. If you ain't going to let it go to the moon, why even have it? It's no point in having it, right? If you're not going to let me put my money in companies and build wealth, what's the point of having it? Just have companies and don't have no stock market. I can just go to the company and knock on the door and say, give them a check and give me some stock. What do I need the stock market for? I don't need it. I can just go to companies individually and do a private deal with them. The whole point of the stock market is so that it can go up, guys. It's to make money. So never miss that. Never miss that. I don't care what gloom and doom these people are saying on TV, on the radio, on social media. They can paint all the gloom and doom they want to about the stock market. The whole point of it is to make money. It's the whole point of it, guys. So please don't miss that. Even when things don't look good, that's when you make the best money. See, I'm not a trained analyst. I'm not a trained stock market guy. I don't try to get on here and use all this jargon to make y'all think I'm so smart and special. I don't know any of that crap. I'm not that smart and I'm not that special, but what I can do is understand the 1% and how they make money. See, I worked with these people for 25 years when I was in banking. I know exactly how they move and I know exactly how they make money. The stock market is where they hold their money or where they make their money. They're not going to disrupt that. Now, they may temporarily disrupt it for a little bit, like they're doing right now. That's all they're doing, guys. There's no reason a company like Google should be off by 8 to 10% in 1 week when it posted earnings that beat expectations. How can you post earnings that beat expectations, but your stock price falls? That's all y'all got. See, this is what I'm telling you guys. You ain't got to be a rocket scientist to figure out this thing is all manipulated, right? How in the world can you be the fifth largest company in the world by market cap? Google, AKA Alphabet. Fifth largest company in the world. You come out this week and you beat top line, you beat bottom line, but your stock price goes down by 8% this week. See, it just tells you right there it's all manipulation. That's all it is. It's all manipulation. If you want to call it rotating out of big tech, that's baloney. Ain't nobody rotating out of big, it's just baloney. But this is the propaganda. They want to propagandize you to get you to believe something that ain't true. They ain't rotating out of nothing. It's manipulation by the most wealthy and the most powerful hedge funds in America. Manipulating the stock market right now. That's what they're doing. And it's illegal. But guess what? They do it anyways. See, they know they shouldn't be behind making deals that the general public don't know nothing about. But they do that. They do that, guys. They certainly do it. They do all types of manipulation tactics. Now, one of my guys on the private mentorship club posted something. My man Mopar, at Mopar, my man, smart guy, very, very active over there. See, this is what I'm trying to tell y'all guys. You don't get yourself around people that kind of know what's going on. Not kind of, but that know what's going on. These folks I got in my mentorship club, man, these folks know what's going on. Now, we got different degrees of people in there when it comes to investing knowledge. But I got some top dogs in there, man. So that's why I'm trying to tell you guys, I ain't got to be the expert. None of us are experts, but I got people in there that invest. They go out and find information. They share it. And he shared a piece of information that I thought was incredible. And I'm just going to share a couple of minutes. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with you, but I just want to show y'all how these power players, these market makers, how they manipulate the stock market. They manipulate it. Here it is. Dead pools and price manipulation, a threat to fair markets. That's the title. Now, my guy Mopar in the membership club, he brought this to my attention through a post he made, or responding to someone's comment or question in the community chat. And see, I'm in the community chat all the time. I may not post or I may not say anything, but I'm in there. I'm checking it all the time. I'm there all the time. So I saw this and I was like, whoa, I didn't even know this. let me at least address it for a few minutes on one of the live streams. So dark pools and price manipulation, a threat to fair markets. Now, we ain't gonna go all the way down the rabbit hole, but I just want to read a little bit of this for you guys. Dark pools and price manipulation, a threat to fair markets. Number one, understanding dark pools and price manipulation. That's what's happening right now, guys. And it's really illegal, but they do it. Because there's no way Google beats top line, beats bottom line, and price per share goes down by 8% to 10%. Why would that happen? And I know some of y'all, oh, that's just rotating out. That's people rotating. Okay. I don't believe that, but I'm going to tell you what I believe. This right here. Understanding dark pools and price manipulation. In the vast landscape of financial markets, there exists a secretive realm known as dark pools. These private exchanges allow institutional hedge funds, big boy pension funds, and all these people with these trillions and trillions of dollars under management. These private exchanges allow institutional investors to trade large blocks of securities away from the public eye, away from the scrutiny of regular market participants. While the concept of dark pools may sound intriguing, their existence raises concerns about price manipulation and the potential threat they pose to fair markets. See, our stock market is part of a fair market, should be a fair market. What does that mean? Everybody should have the ability to win. Everybody should have the ability to win. There shouldn't be no secret handshakes and no secret markets and secret handshakes, and all of this crap shouldn't exist, but it does. But it does. Number two, unveiling price manipulation. Price manipulation, in its simplest form, refers to the intentional act of artificially influencing the price of a security or market. In the context of dark pools, price manipulation becomes a pressing concern due to the lack of transparency and oversight. Without public visibility, large institutional investors have the ability to execute trades that may not accurately reflect the true supply and demand dynamics of the market. Large institutional investors. I already told you guys, and I've told you this before, 75% of the activity in the stock market is by these large institutional investors. 25% is by people like you and me, retail investors. But these large institutional investors are the guys that really control all this. So just let you know that. Number three, the mechanics of a dark pool. To understand how price manipulation can occur within dark pools, it is essential to grasp their mechanics. Dark pools operate by matching buy and sell orders internally, away from public exchanges. New York Stock Exchange, Chicago Stock Exchange. Those are public exchanges. But these deals miss those public exchanges. It misses them, right? They avoid them, right? Dark pools operate matching buy and sell orders internally, away from public exchanges. So more of a handshake deal. Don't even hit the New York Stock Exchange. Don't even hit the Chicago Stock Exchange. This means that the price at which a transaction occurs within a dark pool doesn't impact the publicly quoted price of the security. Consequently, large trades executed within dark pools can distort the market, and they do not contribute to the visibility. Let's start over. Consequently, large trades executed within dark pools can distort the market as they do not contribute to the visible price discovery process. See, everybody should know that. What y'all are making this deal, if y'all moving a large block of Apple, or you moving a large block of Google, if you're moving a large block of Nvidia, everybody should know what you paid for that. But in these little deals, they don't. They don't disclose it. It doesn't hit the public exchanges. Examples of price manipulation. One notable example of price manipulation involving dark pools occurred in 2012 when Barclays was fined $453 million by US and UK regulators. The bank was found to have misled its clients and falsely represented the level of high-frequency trading in its dark pool, known as LX liquidity cross. The case highlighted the potential for abuse within dark pools and the need for heightened regulatory scrutiny. Number 5, tips for detecting price manipulation. For market participants, detecting price manipulation within a dark pool can be a challenging task. However, there are some indicators that can help raise suspicions. A sudden and significant price movement that is not supported by fundamental factors or news releases could be a red flag. Think about what's been happening with Nvidia. Think about what's been happening with some other Meg 7 stocks. I don't know, man. I don't understand how you beat top line, you beat bottom line, and your price go down by 8%, 10%. I have no idea. Oh, I know what we'll say. Let's just tell them big boy investors are rotating out. That's what we'll use. We'll just tell them they're rotating out of big tech and they're going into small cap. But we're not going to tell them which small cap companies. We're just going to say small cap. But name one small cap company that they've mentioned in any of these articles recently. We'll just tell them we're rotating out of big tech. That way, we ain't got to worry about arousing any suspicion. Let's keep hammering home we're rotating out of tech. Also, let's do this. Let's make sure we drop some stories in about geopolitical problems so that it makes sense why Nvidia is falling. Because we want to make the people think that, the government is going to get on Nvidia if they keep selling product to China. Let's drop that in too. Guys, y'all got to understand it's all manipulation, man. It's all manipulation by the 1%. But the way you beat them at their game is you got to follow them and do what they do, right? I'm talking about investing, buying these great companies. See, here's the key, what you got to understand, and I want you to listen to this one more time. This is what you got to understand when you're evaluating these companies and what's happening in the stock market. However, there are some indicators that can help raise suspicions. A sudden and significant price movement that is not supported by fundamentals. What do they mean by that, guys? There ain't no reason in the world Google should be going down. Their stock price should have went down by 8 to 10%. There's no reason in the world Meta's stock price in the Mag 7 has tumbled the way it's tumbled, a big tumble. Meta, Google, Nvidia. Why are they tumbling? There is no fundamental factor for the tumble. There is no business performance issues. Why are they tumbling? Gotta ask yourself. See, the thing is come down to fundamentals, guys. If there are fundamental issues with the operating of those businesses, that's different. But it's not. So why are they falling? That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. If there is a let's start over. A sudden and significant price movement that is not supported by fundamentals or news releases that could raise red flags. Didn't we have some news releases? But the news releases wasn't about the company itself being fundamentally unsound. The news releases was about, you better watch out, long term, Nvidia is gonna lose market share, they're gonna lose sales because Joe Biden and the Biden administration is gonna put more stricter rules on export. That was the news cycle. And they just kept hammering that, geopolitical, rotating out. What does that do to people like you and me who, we don't have privy to these dark pools? We don't even know they exist. What does that do to us when we're just trying to take our little bit of money and get a leg up? They freak us out and they scare us. When they freak us out and they scare us, we panic sell. Or we just stay on the sideline and don't buy nothing and let them get it all. Just saying, man. Number 6, case study. The flash crash of 2010. The infamous flash crash of 2010 serves as a stark reminder of the dangers associated with price manipulation. On May 6, 2010, the U.S. stock market experienced a sudden and severe drop, with the Dow plummeting nearly 1,000 points in a matter of minutes. 1,000 points in the matter of minutes. Investigations revealed that the crash was triggered by a large sell order executed in E-mini S&P 500 futures market, which was exacerbated by high-frequency trading algorithms. While not directly related to dark pools, this event underscores the vulnerability of markets to manipulation and the potential for widespread disruption. Conclusion, number 7, in conclusion, and then I'm gonna get off it. Understanding dark pools and the potential for price manipulation is critical for maintaining fair and transparent markets. While dark pools can offer benefits such as increased liquidity and reduced market impact for institutional investors, their lack of transparency raises concerns. Regulatory efforts to enhance oversight and transparency within dark pools are essential to mitigate the risk of price manipulation and ensure the integrity of our financial markets. Fascinating read. Again, thank you to my guy, Mopar, over on the Private Mentorship Club for just being somebody that's trying to share information so that people get a good perspective of really what's happening in this world, man, of this financial world we live in. Now, again, guys, I'm in the stock market big time. I'm not pulling my money out of the stock market, but it's good for me to understand what these higher up powers will do, even though it may not be on a grand scale. Today, in what's happening in the market, may not be a drop of 1,000 points in minutes. No, that's not what we're experiencing, but we're still experiencing market manipulation, because I don't care what nobody says. There is no way Google, Meta, Nvidia, all the tech companies, all of them, even the second tier tech companies, it's just crazy. When you don't see one report about any financial performance issues with any of the Mag 7 companies, but yet and still they're tumbling. And we all chalk it up to, oh, we're just rotating out and going to the small caps. But I don't know of any small cap companies nobody is buying. And maybe they are buying small cap. Who knows? My point is this: there is manipulation. And what we got to do is understand there's manipulation and recognize it. And it all comes back to fundamentals. It all comes back to the companies. When you see stuff that don't make sense, you gotta understand it's market manipulation. It's market behavior. When it just don't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense what happened to Google. It doesn't make any sense what has happened to Meta stock price lately. It doesn't make any sense what happened to Nvidia. Now, again, I know all of this is temporary. It will end at some point. Why? Because it's a continuous bull market. But I just want you guys to understand that there are powers that operate in the shadows. They're large institutional investors, billionaire investors who are market makers. They can move markets. And only in extreme cases do they get caught. But this little everyday stuff they do, they don't mess with them. The SEC don't mess with them. Only in extreme cases, like the one of this bank that got caught, Barclays. That was an extreme situation, and they paid the price, almost a half a, what did they pay? It was a lot. It was a lot of money that they paid. 400 and something, I believe, million or something. So they paid a lot of money, almost $500 million for that mistake. But again, to a bank like that, that's nothing, guys. Trust me, it's nothing. They can pay that fine and don't lose no sleep. Think about what they made, though. That's what you got to think about. They paid the fine, but what do you think they made by manipulating the market? So it's happening all the time. Like I said, it may not be on that grand scale, but it's happening every day. I think it's happening right now. That's why you see the manipulation you see in the market. Of course, you got people betting against stocks through shorts. You got that going on. But I think eventually, when the Fed has its meeting, when the Fed start reducing these interest rates, I think you got 4 of the 7 Mag 7 companies coming out over the next week with their earnings. Let's see how they do. Let's see what happens to their stock price once earnings come out. If they beat expectations, you would think the stock price would go up. I don't know how you beat expectations, your stock price go down. It's just ludicrous to me. You would think people say, well, okay, they're doing great. That's a good bet. Let's put our money in there. But people say, no, they did great, but let's take our money out. Just manipulation. But again, for investors like you and I, it's an opportunity for us to buy these companies at a deep discount. Nvidia got down to $106 a share yesterday, and I bought some, right? I bought some. Today, it's at $112.63. So it ain't doing any better. I mean, yeah, it's up from the 106. I think the high today was 116. The low was 112.01. Still nothing. Now, here's the thing, though. Their quarter is going to end next week on 7/31, and then they'll come out with their Q2 fiscal year 2025 earnings report on August 28th. And I think the numbers will speak for themselves. I don't know what will happen with the stock. I don't know how long this manipulation will last, guys. Honestly, I don't. I mean, I know that's what it is, but I don't know how long it's going to last, right? I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense, but this is what happens. So there's going to be some correction, but then when it goes, it goes. So while we're in this period of consolidation and correction, don't worry about the stock price right now. In my opinion, I don't. What I worry about is it a solid company? Is it fundamentally sound? Is it making money? Is it profitable? Does it have market share? Does it have products that are in need and lined up, ready to go? Those are the things you got to really just look at the company for. You can't worry about these big old gigantic institutional investors manipulating stuff. You can't control that. I can't control that. I can't control that, everybody wants to do a story on, how overpriced Nvidia stock is. You can't control that. One thing I do know, who owns the media outlets? The 1% owns them. So anything you read coming from coming from Barron's, coming from CNBC, coming from Market Watch, coming from Yahoo Finance, coming from any of these news outlets that you get this stuff coming from, these big gigantic ones, you know they're subject to control by the 1%. Normally when you find these smaller outlets that are really small but that do good work, those are the ones you want to hang your hat on, because they're not being manipulated by the 1%. But the big ones, they're being manipulated by the 1% because they're owned by the 1%. So whatever the 1% wants to trickle down through them and propagandize you on, they're going to do. All of these talking heads who work for these networks, they're going to say whatever the network tell them they need to say. So you just got to be careful who you listen to. I always say go back to the company, look at the fundamentals on the company, see how they're doing performance-wise. And if that's not a problem, then just buy them and wait. That's what I'm doing with Nvidia. I'm just buying it and waiting my time. I'm not going to worry about the geopolitical crap. I'm not going to worry about every story you read, somebody saying something about overpriced this, PE ratio this, forward PE that, all this other crap. I ain't worried about all of that. I'm just going to continue to watch the company, make sure the company is doing well performance-wise, products are doing well, keeping their market share, CEO laser focused, all of that stuff. That's what I pay attention to. I can't control what these market makers and these institutional investors do. Now, I got a lot of money tied up in this thing, so of course, you know, it is a little bit, you get a little bit antsy from time to time because we all want the stock price just to go to the moon. I think eventually it will, but that's where we got to exercise some patience. Even myself, I got to exercise some patience because right now, this is like, I wasn't in this stock 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and maybe it experienced the same thing then, but I'm in it today and I know what's happening. When I see a company like Google with what it did with its Q2 numbers and the price goes down 10%, something ain't right. Something ain't right. You don't beat top line and beat bottom line and you still ain't enough to stock price to go up some. I mean, my goodness. And the only thing you want to hang your hat on is well, the YouTube revenue didn't meet market expectations. It was the YouTube revenue. Y'all know that's a bunch of crap. The YouTube revenue was great. I mean, they missed by like a little bit. I mean, they still did over $8 billion in YouTube revenue. I mean, come on, man. Oh, but it didn't come in at 8.3 billion. It came in at 8.1, so it didn't meet expectations. Well, what about the overall revenue? Did that meet expectations? Yeah, it did. You're gonna take one octopus leg of the business, one business on the octopus, you're gonna take it. And that's gonna be you hang your hat on to say that they didn't have a good, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But this is what we gotta deal with, right, as investors. Because we always got major market makers trying to do something. But what we got to do is recognize a good company. If we believe in that company, we got to be patient. So do whatever you guys need to do. There's a lot of stuff on sale. I looked at Vanguard Information Technology, VGT. I looked at that yesterday, and that thing was down to like $552 a share. That thing was well over $600 a share 2 weeks ago. What's different? So things like that can be considered opportunities, guys. And then you just got to be patient till it rebounds. History says it will. Same with Nvidia. History says it will rebound. The stock price will rebound. It will at some point. I don't know when. I don't know if it's next month. I don't know if it's in 6 months. I don't know if it's in 6 years. But at some point, this thing, in my opinion, rebounds and multiplies my money at some point. So my job right now is to be patient, continue to watch the company, continue to be diligent, doing my thing, my research where I need to, just to know what's out there. and not get blindsided by anything. And when I say blindsided by anything, I'm really talking about business performance. Not just lose interest and just say, okay, I'm gonna leave the stock right here and lose interest and go focus something else. I also need to keep my eye on business performance, because that right there is what the company has control over. So we got to make sure they have control over what they can control and are doing very well at it. And right now I think they are, no matter what the stock price is doing. Who knows what it'll finish out today, right? But I think better days are coming. Better days are coming. As I mentioned earlier in this conversation about the Fed meeting next week, I think they're going to come out with some pretty good guidance for September. Even if they don't reduce anything in July, which I don't believe they will. But I think they'll come out with some positive guidance based on these three PCE reports, the 3 CPI reports, also the GDP information that was given yesterday about the economy doing okay. I think all of that stuff, in my opinion, speaks to reducing rates. I think we're out of the woods, and they can start systematically reducing these rates to get down to a new policy rate. Right now, the 5.5 is too high. Over the next year and a half, if they can get it down to that 3% range, 2.5%, 3% over the next year and a half, that's where we need to be. That's where we need to be. I think we're out of the woods when it comes to inflation. And I think once we start seeing that, I think we'll start seeing the stock market get itself back to fight its way out of this correction, because that's what we're in right now, is a mini correction. Don't know how long it'll last, but eventually it will. The bull market will break through the mini correction and we'll keep going to higher heights. And that's what I'm hanging my hat on. Like I said, I hope it happens this year, but it might not. I don't know. I just got to be, that's why see, in my mind, I got this 10-year horizon. I got 10 years left to battle with this. So my job is to get good assets at a discount and hold them. And I think right now I'm in a good position. Even if that stock price at the end of the year is $150 a share, that's still a good position for where I'm at for 2024. And then you got to go into 2025 hoping we got tailwinds in 25. But you never know, guys. You'll experience these setbacks every year. How long the setback is, it just depends. So be prepared for that. Make yourself available mentally when it comes to understanding what these market makers and these large institutional investors are doing when it comes to their manipulation tactics. It is what it is. The first part of the year, they rolled the tech stocks to all-time highs, pumped as much propaganda as they could, jacked the prices all the way up as much as they could jack them up. They made a bunch of money, and then boom, they went the opposite on them. They said, well, okay, we've gotten to where we need to get to with them. Now let's bring them down and make money on the way down. So we make money on the way down, they make money on the way up. That's how they work. But my goal is to be in a position where I can buy these things like I did yesterday. I executed on the video at 108 per share. So it brings my blended, down to about 110 on my, I got 10,200 shares. So I got 10,200 shares in the video right now with a blended at around, I don't know, maybe 109, 110, something like that. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. As long as there's no business performance issues with this stock over the next couple of years, next 3 years, next 3 to 5 years, I'm gonna stay in it. If there comes a time where there are issues, then I'm gonna sell it. It's that simple, guys. That's why you just gotta pay attention. You ain't gotta stalk it every day, but pay attention. And if it gets to a point that you're not happy, get out. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna sit here and just let it go to zero, which I don't believe it will do. I'm just saying, I ain't gonna sit here and just watch it go to zero. There'll come a time where I say to myself, that's enough. But right now it's not that time. I believe in the stock and I still think it has an opportunity to do what it has to do, but it's predicated on, it's already proven that a company can do well and stock price still won't go up. That's evident. You saw what Google did, and the stock price didn't go up. It went down. So just because somebody beats expectations and earnings and profit, and your stock price can still go down, I don't know, man. It's crazy. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see on August 28th what happens once this company comes out with its earnings. I think over the next month, I still believe in August. We'll start seeing the stock move upward again. That's what I believe. Don't got no crystal ball on that, guys. Can't predict the future. I'm just giving you what I think. I think it still has an opportunity to start moving upward next week. On Monday, Hong and Zuckerberg are going to be on the same stage at some tech conference. We'll see what happens in that meeting. Perhaps there's something in the works. We'll see. But I just wanted to shed a little bit of light on these dark pools. Like I said, my guy Mopar put that out in the community chat under one of the comments or questions from another member, and I was in there looking at it. I was like, man, this is some good stuff. Let me at least touch on this in the live stream this morning, because I know there are a lot of people out there are saying, I don't quite understand what's going on. How can this company do well but stock price go down? And then you got some companies that ain't done nothing and the stock price go up. That's the stock market, guys. You won't know all the answers to it. Sometimes it just don't make sense. But one thing I can hang my hat on is I know it's where the richest people in the world and in America keep their money. A lot of it is in the stock market. A lot of them do. So, I read something on the CEO of Nvidia where this guy still has about, I don't know what, almost 1 billion shares or 800 million shares of Nvidia stock still, or something like that. Some crazy number, right? Which represents like $100 billion still in the stock. So this guy is all in, man. He got to make this thing work. He got to. And then I saw another one of his board members had about, 39 million shares, which is worth about 8 billion. His 800 million shares is worth 100 billion. And so listen, people are still, even though the insiders have sold some of the Nvidia stock guys, the CEO got a ton left, guys. He's still got $100 billion worth of stock. That's a lot of money to leave on the table. So he's going to do everything he can to continue helping this company grow. There are forces against this stock and the Magnificent Seven stocks and the tech industry in general. There are forces against it right now because it's lining their pockets. They will turn around and let it go eventually. We just don't know when they're going to let it go. Because this ain't no normal correction where you see companies just not having the performance. Nah, it's just all market manipulation, all market behavior. You don't see these companies coming in. Now, companies like Ford, who posted lackluster numbers, got hit hard. Ford got hit hard. But that was business performance, right? That was business performance why they got hit hard. That wasn't market manipulation. That wasn't market behavior. That was the company didn't perform. So you take a hit when you don't perform and you work your way back up. You perform the next quarter and the quarter, you know what I'm saying? So you can get it. I can put 2 and 2 together. If the business doesn't perform, yes, you take a hit in your stock price. I get that. But it's hard to me to wrap my arms and my brain around you perform, but you still take a hit in the stock price. That's all market manipulation, in my opinion. That's all big boys doing what big boys do when it comes to these institutional investors. And when I say big boys, guys, I'm not being I'm not leaving ladies out. That's just a figure of speech. I'm just talking about big companies, right? Institutional investors, these Wall Street firms. I just call them big boys. That's just, I'm not excluding women from this because we got a lot of women investors and we appreciate them. And a lot of male investors, a lot of women investors, just investors in general. So just don't let my little terminology, like I told you, I'm not professionally trained at any of this. I'm just a guy on here who takes information, I can read that information and I can come up with my own conclusion. And then I share that with you guys. That don't mean my conclusion is right. You might have a different conclusion. I'm just telling you my conclusion based on the information that I read. And that's what my YouTube channel is about, is just sharing that opinion. So guys, if you're not afraid and ready to get away from the stock market thing, and that was not the message today. The message is be aware of market movers, be aware of dark pools, be aware of market manipulation, market behavior. Will answer some of your questions why it's doing what it's doing when it don't make sense. That's why. That's the only reason I throw that to you, because a lot of people have been asking me, what's going on, Richard? Why is Google trading lower when it did good? And sometimes this will explain it for you. I don't know why, but this helps me understand the forces who control a lot of this stock market. It makes sense. It makes sense. Somebody is profiting off of Google being off by 10%. Somebody is. Who that somebody is, I don't know, but somebody's profiting. Somebody is profiting off of the Mag 7. Stock prices sliding. Somebody out there is profiting. So that's what you got to understand, guys. This is not just happenstance. This is manipulated. This is manipulation. Somebody is profiting off of this. The good news is I know eventually it will stop. It won't stop, but eventually the correction will dissipate. And we're going to get back to business as usual at some point. Don't know when, but at some point. In the meantime, while we wait on that, you just keep buying good companies with solid performance, solid fundamentals. You keep buying ETFs with solid performance, solid fundamentals, and a historical track record of multiplying money over the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Keep buying them. Keep buying them. And just be patient. If you do that, at the end of the day, I believe you come out on this thing on top. And like I said, if you need a world-class brokerage app to be able to buy these paper assets and be able to do fractional share trading, DRIP, which is dividend reinvestment program, automatic investment program, AIP, click on that link down in the description box, guys, and sign up for Mumu. Try out their brokerage app. They do all three of those things that I just mentioned, and they do them very well. I use the Mumu brokerage app to transact my business in paper assets. It's my primary way to transact business in paper assets. On top of that, for trying out the app, they're going to give you up to 20 free stocks, publicly traded companies on our stock exchanges here in America, publicly traded companies. They're going to give you up to 20 of them for just trying out their new brokerage app. Link down in the description box. First link. Now, if you decide to put $100 to initially fund your brokerage account, you qualify for 8 free stocks. If initially you fund your brokerage account with $1,000, you get the full 20 free stocks. Wonderful offer. Don't miss that offer, guys. Make sure you get down in the description box. Make sure you click on that Mumu link. Open up that Mumu account today. Go get that free stock. Go get that free money. And then send me an email through my website, www.richardfain.net. Second link down in the description box. Send me an email letting me know you've opened the Mumu account and you want the tutorial videos for the Mumu account so you can learn how to use the app and start buying your favorite companies and your favorite ETFs with that $1,000 or with that $100 you put in. And I'm gonna send you out some tutorial videos to help you do that. It's 2 of them. It'll walk you through fractional share trading, tell you how to do that. Plus it'll give you all the basic mechanics you need to know to be able to use the app effectively to start buying your favorite companies and your favorite ETFs. Now, for some of you guys that say, Richard, I'm brand new at this. I've been watching you for a minute, but I really don't know. I don't have a favorite company or favorite ETFs. What are you doing? I'll be more than happy to send you my wealth transfer blueprint 1.0, 2.0. I got 2 videos. You can watch them. And if you want to rock with me and do what I'm doing, go ahead. No problem with that. Understand though, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just simply sharing with you what I'm doing. As long as you're okay with that and you can make your own decisions from there. If you like what I'm doing, copy the plan. If you don't like it, create your own plan. I just want to be crystal clear that I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not trying to play one on YouTube. I'm not one in real life and I'm not one on YouTube. I'm just a regular guy trying to give you information to help you understand this thing I call the stock market that I made a lot of money in and I plan to make a lot more in. That's all I'm trying to do. Give you some information so that you can hang your hat on and understand some of this stuff that's going on that don't really make no sense, right? So long as you understand that, send me that email. Let me know you've opened that Mumu account. Let me know you funded it. I'm gonna send you the tutorial videos and I'm gonna send you the blueprints. Also, while you're over at the website, guys, check out the digital products and then consider joining the fastest growing financial community on Patreon through the website. You can just hit the membership button or you can hit the join button. It'll take you over to Patreon. You can get yourself signed up and then get yourself over in the community, man, and dive in. I told you, we got a group of almost 800 people over there that are quality people, right? That help one another, that are very, very active in the community chat, which is basically a live feed, right? It's a community chat where people are dropping stuff all the time. Like I told you, this information on dark pools, I got from one of my club members, Mopar. He dropped it in one of the comments on one of the, the members had posted a question or said something and he dropped it in there. And I went and looked at it. I was like, man, I'm gonna share some of that on the YouTube channel because I think that's good information. That's an information obviously I knew it was manipulation going out there, but I didn't organize it in my brain the way that article organized it. I already know it's manipulation. I already know large hedge funds and billionaires and all these people who do stuff illegal. Not all of them, but a lot of them do stuff illegal that they know they're not supposed to do. They do it anyways. And I knew that, but I just didn't have it really that organized the way that article had it organized. So good stuff. I'm actually going to post that over into the main post page of the community. So anybody that wants to look at it can look at it. I'll do that a little later today. So if you're a part of the club, go to the main Patreon page where I do all the posts and I'm going to post it there today so people can go look at that article. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating article and it makes perfect sense to me. So thanks again, Mopar, for that little piece of information, man. I appreciate you. So, hey, man, I'm going to get on out of here, guys. I got to get gone. So do me a favor, man. Lock it in with a thumbs up before y'all get out of here. I hope you're having a wonderful Friday morning. I hope you have a rest of a wonderful Friday afternoon and evening. And I'm going to probably not be on a live stream tonight, but I will be trying to drop some edited content on the main YouTube channel here. So if you don't mind, go check that edited content out so we can get that thing popping a little bit. It'll be some more information, but I'll be back again on Saturday morning at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time with another live stream, just kind of giving you a recap and talking about some more things to help you build wealth, man. So if you want to be a part of that, make sure you're back here tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. Also, guys, like I said, get down to the description box and take a look at all of those the links that I got down there, the Mumu link. Take a look at the website link, and also make sure you go take a look at the Instagram link so that, hey, if you want to follow me when I'm not on Instagram, like I told y'all, I'm gonna be doing some stuff on this weekend that I'm gonna be putting on the Instagram page. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, check me out, give me a follow on Instagram, and then send me a DM to let me know you're rocking with me so I can say thank you. Appreciate y'all guys for all you do for me. Y'all have been a blessing in my life. It allows me to do the thing that I'm really passionate about, which is financial freedom and then helping people get to financial freedom. I'm really passionate about that. That's my purpose. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to do that here on the YouTube streets. I appreciate it. Appreciate you. Well, all right, man, I'm out of here. Thoughts become things. See it in your mind. Hold it in your hands. You guys keep chasing your greatness. Never stop believing in yourself. Stay healthy. Get wealthy. And I'm going to catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Nvidia to the moon.